The universe had grown too quiet. Commander Rex stood on the bridge of the alien battleship Dominator, his forearms crossed as he studied the star charts. For 300 years, the Galactic Council had monitored the noisy little planet called Earth. Humans had been broadcasting their signals into space since they discovered radio waves music, messages, arguments, and endless chatter that annoyed most civilizations. But now, Earth was silent. When did the signals stop? Rex asked his science officer, a tall creature named Vex. Exactly 30 rotations ago, Commander. One moment Earth was broadcasting as usual, the next nothing. Vex pulled up the data on the main screen. The blue-green planet still orbited its yellow sun, but no electromagnetic signals came from it anymore. Rex had dealt with humans before. They were a young species, barely spacefaring, with only a few colonies on their moon and the planet they called Mars. The Galactic Council had deemed them too primitive to contact officially. Most species viewed humans as chaotic, violent, and unpredictable a species, best left alone until they either destroyed themselves or matured enough to join galactic society. Perhaps they finally annihilated themselves, suggested Cora. Weapons officer. Their history is full of wars. Nuclear weapons, biological warfare. It was only a matter of time. Rex wasn't convinced. Send a probe. I want to know what happened. The probe launched within the hour, racing through hyperspace toward Earth. While they waited, Rex reviewed the files on humanity. Strange creatures, these humans. They were physically weak compared to most galactic species, with soft skin, natural weapons, and fragile bodies. Yet they had survived ice ages, plagues, and countless wars. They had split the atom when most species their age were still using steam power dot. The probe's data arrived 3 days later. Rex stared at the results. In confusion, Earth wasn't destroyed. The cities stood intact, the forests grew green, and the oceans still moved with tides. But there were no humans, not one. No bodies, no ruins, no signs of disaster. Every human on Earth, all 11 billion of them, had simply vanished. Their pets roamed empty streets. Their machines sat idle. Their nuclear plants had safely shut, down through automatic protocols. This is impossible, Vex said, scanning the data again. An entire species doesn't just disappear. Check the colonies, Rex ordered. More probes launched. Mars, the moon, the research stations around Jupiter all empty. Every human in the solar system had vanished on the same day. At the same moment, the news spread through the Galactic Council. Like wildfire. Some species celebrated the noisy humans were finally gone. Others worried, what force could make an entire species disappear? A council called an emergency session. We should investigate, argued Ambassador Tom from the Zeke. Republic. If something can erase humanity, it might threaten us all. Or perhaps the humans did this to themselves, countered High Minister Grok of the warrior clans. Some experiment gone wrong. We should quarantine their system and forget they existed. The debate raged for days. Rex listened, but said nothing. Something bothered him about the disappearance. It was too clean, too precise. No species in galactic history had ever vanished so completely. Even extinct civilizations left bodies, ruins, or some trace of their end dot, and the first ship disappeared. A cargo vessel passing near Earth's system sent a distress signal, then vanished. No debris, no energy signatures, just gone. Then another. Ship disappeared, this time a military patrol. The Council ordered all vessels to avoid human space, but Rex had to know. Against direct orders, he took his ship toward Earth. His crew trusted him, though they were nervous. As they approached the solar system's edge, every instrument on the ship began recording something unprecedented. Space itself was different. Here, The very fabric of reality had been altered in subtle ways. Quantum particles behaved strangely. Time moved at inconsistent rates. And beneath it all, Rex detected something that made his scales turn cold. A message hidden in the quantum. Static, repeating endlessly in every human language. We are not gone. We have become something else. The silence is our cocoon. When we emerge, the stars themselves will know our names. Rex ordered an immediate retreat. As his ship raced away from Earth's system, he knew the universe had made a terrible mistake. Humanity hadn't destroyed itself. It had evolved. And their silence was not an ending. It was a beginning. 6 months had passed since humanity vanished, and the galaxy grew more fearful with each passing day. Rex had been appointed as special investigator by the Galactic Council, though many members opposed giving him the position. His ship, the Dominator, now served as a mobile command center, stationed just outside the quarantine zone around Earth's system. Another ship has disappeared, Vex reported, pulling up the data on the holographic display. The merchant vessel Star Runner, attempting to salvage abandoned human technology from their asteroid mining stations. Rex studied the readings. Like all the others, the ship had simply ceased to exist the moment it crossed into human space. No explosion, no debris field, just an absence where matter once existed. How many does that make? Rex asked. 47 vessels in 6 months, Commander. The Council has issued a death penalty for anyone who violates the quarantine zone, but scavengers keep trying. The abandoned human colonies had become legendary. Earth's technology, while primitive by galactic standards, was unique in its approach. Humans had developed solutions to problems other species never encountered, created art unlike anything in the known galaxy, and left behind vast libraries of knowledge. The temptation to claim these treasures was strong, but Rex knew better. He had been studying the quantum message, the one hidden in the fabric of space itself around Earth. His science team had decoded more of it, and what they found disturbed him deeply. "Show me the latest translation," he ordered. Vex brought up the text on screen. "We have shed our physical forms like a snake sheds its skin. Matter was our prison, and we have found the key. We exist now between moments, in the spaces between atoms, in the pause between heartbeats. We are watching. We are learning. We are waiting." Waiting for what? Cora asked, her weapon systems constantly scanning for threats that never appeared. "That's what worries me," Rex admitted. "Every species that achieves faster than light travel does so through technology. But what if humans found a different path? What if they discovered how to transcend physical existence entirely?" The idea seemed impossible, but the evidence was mounting. Rex had sent stealth drones into Earth's system. None had returned, but they transmitted data until they vanished. The readings were bizarre. Reality itself seemed malleable near Earth, as if the laws of physics had become suggestions rather than rules. Then came the first contact. It started as a whisper in the ship's communication system. Not a message, but a presence. Every crew member felt it simultaneously, a sensation of being observed, studied, catalogued. It lasted only seconds, but it left them all shaken. "Did you feel that?" Vex asked, his blue skin pale with fear. Rex nodded. "They're watching us, testing us." Over the following weeks, the contacts became more frequent. Ships throughout the galaxy reported similar experiences. The presence would appear, observe, and vanish. It never communicated, never acted. It simply watched. The Galactic Council grew desperate. Some members wanted to destroy Earth's entire system, but Rex argued against it. "We don't even know if conventional weapons would work," he said during a heated debate. "If humanity has truly transcended physical form, destroying their planet might accomplish nothing, or it might provoke them." His words proved prophetic when the war fleet arrived. High Minister Grok had convinced his people to act without counsel. Approval. 300 of the most powerful warships in the galaxy jumped into Earth's system simultaneously, weapons charged and ready to reduce the planet to atoms. Rex watched from his position outside the quarantine zone, powerless to stop them. The war fleet opened fire with everything they had: antimatter bombs, quantum torpedoes, gravity weapons that could shred planets. None of it reached Earth. The weapons simply stopped existing the moment. They would have caused damage, not destroyed, not deflected. They just ceased to be. Then, one by one, the warships began to disappear. No battle, no resistance. They simply faded away like morning mist. Only one ship returned, its crew traumatized beyond words. They babbled about seeing impossible things, colors that didn't exist, sounds that had texture, thoughts that moved through time backwards. Most went insane within days, but one crew member, before madness took him, managed to relay a message. He claimed the humans had given him, "We mean no harm to those who mean no harm to us. But we are no longer bound by your rules, your physics, or your understanding. We have found the next step in evolution. Stay away from our cradle until we decide what to do with the stars." Rex understood then. Humanity hadn't vanished, they had ascended, and the galaxy had no idea what they had become. Asterisk. 1 year after the vanishing, the impossible happened. A human returned. Rex was reviewing reports in his quarters when the alarm sounded. Something had appeared on the bridge of the Dominator, not transported, not walked in, but simply materialized from nothing. His security team surrounded the figure with weapons drawn, but Rex raised a hand to stop them. It looked like a human male, middle-aged, wearing simple Earth clothing. But something was wrong. The figure seemed to flicker at the edges, as if it wasn't entirely there. When it moved, it left brief afterimages, like echoes in time. "Hello, Rex," the figure said, though its mouth didn't quite sync with the words. "My name is David. I was ... and ... will be human. Time is difficult now. Linear thinking is a habit we're trying to break." Rex stood slowly, keeping his movements calm. "Are you really here?" "Here is a relative concept. I'm as here as I need to be for this conversation." David smiled, and for a moment, Rex could see through him to the wall behind. "We've been watching you, Rex. You're different from the others. You want to understand, not destroy. Where did humanity go?" Rex asked. Directly, David tilted his head, considering. "We didn't go anywhere. We went everywhere. We went nowhere. We went to the spaces between spaces. Your language doesn't have words for what we've become. Why did you leave?" "We didn't leave. We evolved. It started with an accident experiment in quantum consciousness at a research facility in what you call Switzerland. One scientist made a breakthrough, saw reality for what it truly is: not solid matter in empty space, but patterns of possibility. She shared her discovery, and once you see the truth, you can't unsee it." David walked to the viewing port, looking out at the stars. It spread like wildfire through humanity. Not a disease, but an awakening. Within days, every human understood. We saw that physical existence was just one option among infinite possibilities, so we chose to explore the others. "But why abandon your world entirely?" Vex asked, despite his fear. "We haven't abandoned it. Earth is more protected now than ever. It's our chrysalis, our sacred ground. When we're ready, when we understand what we've become, we'll decide whether to return to physical form or move beyond this universe entirely." Rex felt a chill. You could leave this universe? Universe, multiverse, omniverse, these are just words for concepts your minds created to understand infinity. We're exploring all of it. Past, future, parallel realities, impossible worlds. Do you know there's a universe where mathematics itself is alive? Another where music has mass? We've seen wonders your science says cannot exist. Why tell me this? Rex asked. David turned, and for a moment, Rex saw not one human but millions, all superimposed on the same space, all the humans who had ever lived or ever would live. Because we need an ambassador, someone to speak for us to the physical galaxy, someone to ensure our birth world remains untouched while we complete our transformation. And if I refuse, you won't. You're curious. It's why we chose you. David began to fade. We're not gods, Rex. We're not angels or demons. We're just the next step. Every species faces this choice, eventually remain the physical or transcend. Most choose to stay. Humans were always explorers. Before Rex could respond, David solidified again. One more thing. There are others out there, older species who made the same choice eons ago. They're watching humanity with interest. Some are pleased to see new companions in the infinite. Others see us as threats to their territories in the beyond. Territories in the beyond? Rex couldn't comprehend it. Even infinity can be divided, Commander. Even the impossible can have borders. Humanity is young in this new existence. We're learning, growing, becoming. But we may need allies, both here and beyond. David reached out and touched Rex's shoulder. For an instant, Rex saw everything the universe as a vast web of possibilities, each choice creating new realities, each thought spawning universes. He saw humanity spread across dimensions like fire across paper, burning bright with curiosity and wonder. He saw wars fought with concepts as weapons, love that existed outside of time, mathematics that could rewrite reality itself. Then David was gone, and Rex collapsed to his knees, overwhelmed. Commander. Vex rushed to his side. Rex looked up, his eyes reflecting impossible colors. We need to protect Earth, not from humanity, but for them. They're not gone. They're becoming something magnificent and terrifying. The Galactic Council. Chamber had never been so divided. Rex stood at the center, facing hundreds of representatives from every major civilization. His report about David's visit had sent shockwaves through the galaxy. This is absurd, shouted Ambassador Zeal of the Silicon Unity. Transcendent humans? Evolution beyond physical form? You expect us to believe this fantasy? The evidence is undeniable, Rex responded calmly. 47 ships vanished without trace. Earth stands empty but preserved. And David appeared on my ship through no technology we understand. High Minister Grok slammed his fist on his podium. If these humans have become so powerful, they're a threat to us all. We should destroy their system now, while we still can. Can we? Rex challenged. Your war fleet tried. 300 ships vanished like smoke. The humans didn't fight back. They simply made your weapons not exist. How do you destroy something that exists outside reality itself? The chamber erupted in arguments. Some species called for immediate evacuation of nearby systems. Others demanded massive military buildups. A few suggested attempting communication with the transformed humans. Elderwise, the oldest member of the council, raised a tentacle for silence. In my 9,000 years, I have seen many things, but this is unprecedented. If humanity has truly transcended, we face a paradigm shift in galactic civilization. What do you suggest? Asked Rex. We need proof. And we need to understand their intentions. Elderwise turned his ancient eyes to Rex. You claim they want you as an ambassador. Accept the role. Learn what you can. Before Rex could respond, the lights in the chamber flickered. The air grew thick, and reality seemed to bend. Then they appeared not one human, but dozens, materializing throughout the chamber. Some looked solid, others translucent. Some appeared young, others old. All had that same otherworldly quality David had possessed. Panic erupted. Security forces raised weapons, but the humans made no aggressive moves. One of them, a woman who seemed to be made of starlight, raised her hand. "Peace," she said, her voice echoing from everywhere and nowhere. "We come to demonstrate, not to harm." She gestured, and the chamber transformed. The walls became transparent, showing not space, but the underlying structure of reality quantum foam, probability waves, the mathematics that held the universe together. Council members gasped as they saw themselves not as solid beings, but as patterns of energy, temporary arrangements of particles that thought themselves permanent. "This is what we see now," the woman explained. "This is truth. You are not your bodies. You are patterns, information, consciousness given form. We simply learn to exist without the form." "What do you want?" Elder Wise asked, his voice steady despite the impossibility around him. "Nothing. Everything. We want to explore infinity. We want to understand existence. We want to reach the source code of reality itself." The woman solidified slightly, becoming more human in appearance. "But we also remember being physical. We remember fear, love, curiosity. We don't wish to frighten you." High Minister Grok, surprisingly, found his voice. "If you have such power, why not conquer us all?" A young human male laughed, the sound rippling through dimensions. "Conquer? Why would we conquer what we've transcended? That would be like you trying to conquer your shadow. The physical universe is a starting point, not a prize." The woman continued, "But we understand your fear. So we make this offer. Earth and our solar system remain ours, untouchable, sacred. In return, we will not interfere with physical civilization unless asked. We will watch, we will learn, but we will not impose our evolution on anyone. And if someone attacks Earth again?" Rex asked. The humans spoke in unison, their voices creating harmonics that made reality shiver. "Then they will learn why silence can be louder than any scream." They began to fade, but the woman turned to Rex one last time. "You understand us better than most, Commander. We leave a gift away to communicate. When the galaxy needs to speak with humanity, you will be the bridge." She touched Rex's forehead, and he felt something change within him. A new sense, a way of perceiving beyond the physical. Then the humans vanished, the chamber returned to normal, and hundreds of beings sat in stunned silence. Finally, Elder Wise spoke. "I motion to establish the Earth Protectorate, with Commander Rex as Chief Ambassador to Transcendent Humanity. All in favor?" The vote was unanimous. Even Grok, shaken by what he had witnessed, voted yes. As Rex accepted his new position, he felt the weight of bridging two forms of existence. Humanity had evolved, but they hadn't forgotten their origins. And somehow, Rex knew this was just the beginning of something far greater than anyone could imagine. Asterisk. 5 years had passed since humanity's transcendence, and the galaxy had adapted to the new reality. Rex stood in his office on Guardian Station, a massive structure built at the edge of Earth's quarantine zone. As Chief Ambassador to Transcendent Humanity, he had become the most important and most isolated being in the galaxy. The gift the humans had given him, the ability to perceive beyond the physical, had changed him. He could see the threads of possibility, the quantum echoes of choices not made. Sometimes he could even sense the transcended humans moving through dimensions just beyond perception. "Ambassador," Vex entered, carrying a datapad. "We have a situation." Rex turned from the window where Earth hung in the distance, blue and green and hauntingly empty. "What kind of situation?" "The Void Hunters have returned." Rex felt his scales tighten. The Void Hunters were an ancient species that had vanished millions of years ago. Legend said they had transcended physical form, but unlike humanity's curious exploration, they had become predators in the beyond, where 3 systems have reported encounters. Not physical attacks, but consciousness invasions. Entire populations experiencing nightmares, shared visions of being consumed by living darkness. Before Rex could respond, the air in his office shifted. David appeared, but not as before. He looked worried, almost afraid emotions Rex hadn't thought possible for transcended beings. "Rex, we need to talk," David said urgently. "We're not alone in the beyond. We knew others had transcended before us, but we didn't understand what. Some of them had become the Void Hunters?" David nodded. "They transcended through fear and hunger, not curiosity. They feed on consciousness itself, devouring the essence of both physical and non-physical beings. They've noticed humanity young, inexperienced, rich with the energy of recent transcendence. We're like a beacon to them. Can you fight them?" "We're learning to, but we need help." David's form solidified, becoming almost fully human. "This is why we needed an ambassador. The physical and transcendent realms are connected. What happens? In one affects the other. If the Void Hunters consume us, they'll grow strong enough to breach back into physical space." Rex understood immediately. "You need the galaxy's help to protect Earth. More than that, we need to teach physical beings how to defend against consciousness predators. And we need to share what we've learned about transcendence, not to force evolution, but to prepare those who are ready." Over the following days, Rex called an emergency session of the Galactic Council. The revelation that hostile transcended beings existed terrified many species, but it also united them. Earth, once seen as a threat, was now understood as a shield humanity stood between the physical galaxy and things far worse than death. The Council agreed to establish the Trans-Dimensional Defense Initiative. Species would share their knowledge of consciousness, quantum mechanics, and spiritual practices. Humanity, through Rex, would teach them about the beyond and how to strengthen their mental defenses. The first joint defense came sooner than expected. The Void Hunters attacked a colony world, their darkness seeping through dimensions to feed on the colonists' minds. But humanity was ready. They appeared not as individuals, but as a unified force, a burning light that drove the darkness back. Rex watched from Guardian Station as reality itself became a battlefield. The transcended humans fought with weapons of pure thought, wielding concepts like swords and shields of mathematics. The Void Hunters responded with entropy and despair, trying to drag humanity back into nothingness. The battle lasted days in physical time, eons in the beyond. When it ended, the Void Hunters retreated, wounded and wary. Humanity had proven they were not easy prey. David appeared to Rex afterwards, exhausted but triumphant. "We won this round, but they'll be back. And there are others out there beings that transcended through rage, through logic, through madness. The beyond is vast and full of wonders and terrors." "What does this mean for the galaxy?" Rex asked. "It means the next stage of evolution isn't an ending, it's a new beginning. Physical and transcendent beings need each other. We're all part of something larger, a cosmic ecosystem we're only beginning to understand." David smiled, and for a moment, he looked entirely human again. "Thank you, Rex, for believing in us, for protecting our birth world, for bridging 2 forms of existence." As David faded, Rex looked out at Earth again. The silence that had once terrified the galaxy now comforted him. It wasn't the silence of death, but of transformation. Humanity had vanished into silence, and that silence had indeed reshaped them. Stars not through conquest, but through revelation. The galaxy would never be the same. And in the quantum static around Earth, a new message appeared. We are humanity. We are the bridge between what is and what could be. And we are just getting The end asterisk.